Hello, we're live again on
We are
Facebook.
back.
We are back. We didn't even take a long break, did we?
We didn't take a long break, no.
No, it was very short, but we're back with another Facebook Live video, and this one is about how to find motivation when you don't. Oh, I misread it. Sorry.
How to find your motivation
without. How to find the motivation you need without needing motivation.
Perfect. Sounds good to me.
A little bit.
Yeah, try and explain it.
So, basically, before
you're leaning right on me, just kind of chill.
We were talking before we made this video, and me and my dad were agreeing that some people think that they need motivation to be able to do something because they're complaining that they don't think they're motivated or anything, but it's actually they don't need motivation at all.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about why that's true, which should really help out because that's what a lot of people go through when they have goals and they run out of motivation and they start feeling like they are lazy. They start thinking something's wrong with them. They start thinking that they don't want it bad enough and, kind of thinking bad thoughts to themselves, thinking, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do this? And it makes people feel like a failure when, they
So, there's a rule in our house that we can't say the word can't.
Yes.
We're not allowed to unless it's like we're not able to do. Well, not able, but like it's like we can only say it if we're saying like we can't say this or if like.
You just don't say can't, right? Yeah.
No, you could only say it if you're trying to like explain to a friend like we can't say the word can't.
Yep.
That's the only time
we don't say the word can't.
No.
It's the C word.
We call it the C bad word because we don't like to say it because my dad says instead of saying that, why don't you ask yourselves how can I do this or how can I do that?
Yep, absolutely, right? Because when we say we can't do something,
that means like we're not trying hard enough.
Well, it means that we're giving away our power too, right? So when we say we can't, then
sorry.
We're giving away our power to, something else and making ourselves powerless in the process. All right, so today's topic, how to find the motivation you need without needing motivation.
Needing it. So basically, like, you don't need it at all.
All right, so without needing motivation. So let's talk about, what happens. So like I said, a lot of times it's real easy when we have goals that we're going after. And what are you doing? Oh my Lord. Okay. So anyways, I just see you making these goofy faces. I'm like, what are you doing? All right. Anyway, so
I want to get the attention.
Well, you have attention. You're on live right now, so we don't have to worry about, needing attention. Anyway, so what happens when, people are trying to achieve a goal? So whether it's, a fitness goal. A lot of people struggle with nutrition. A lot of people struggle with losing weight. People struggle with other goals. People struggle with how to stop smoking. People struggle with how to stop drinking. People struggle with how to make more money. People struggle in relationships, how to have better relationships, how to attract the right ones.
They also struggle, like, some people, like, they want to be on, like a team or something.
Yeah.
And they, like, struggle with trying to get on the team.
Cool. All right, so that's what we're talking about today, and so this kind of like today I was going to put this video off, and the reason being because I had the whole thing ready. I knew what I wanted to talk about and what I wanted to share here, and then I just kind of started feeling like my energy drop, and I was feeling kind of like I didn't really have like energy. Yeah, I was feeling down a little bit. And so I was going to put doing the video off because I didn't really, I wasn't like feeling it. And I didn't really have the motivation. I was just like, oh, I could do it tomorrow or, whatever. And, kind of what happened was it really wasn't a motivation thing. Like I didn't need motivation to do it, because I wasn't relying on motivation to begin with. And I'm going to share, how you can do that, how you can find your motivation without needing motivation, and kind of how that happens. A lot of the times what happens is that we're relying on that stuff. And the reason why, it's like we rely on motivation, we rely on willpower, right? It's easy to talk from a fitness standpoint, but again, you can apply this to like any other area that you want, but I use fitness examples a lot because that's been my background, and it's been, a lot of my experience. I've had experience in other areas as well, battling with, addiction, and battling with being overweight, and battling, through relationships and having those struggles, and career and all that kind of stuff. And really what it comes down to is that when we set like these goals, and we have to, force ourselves, we have to think like we have to push harder. We think that, we need this willpower, or we need to find this big reason why, or we need to set bigger goals, or that, we need to stop being lazy and things like that. That stuff runs out. It really runs out. What happens is we end up kind of feeling like we're trying to make ourselves do something. And when you feel like you're trying to force it, you're trying to make yourself do something, that's kind of clue number one that something's not right. When you have to rely on motivation, when you feel like, man, I'm just not motivated. Now, it's not to say that you won't have your days. We all have days where we feel, a little down or a little unmotivated. That's normal if it's kind of a day here and there. When it's a constant thing, though, that's where we get in trouble. So, if you get to a point where you have to really rely like constantly on motivation, it's trouble, because then we're always looking for something outside of ourselves to kind of pick us up and move us in the direction toward our goals. When we have to do that, it's a problem, because it doesn't last, right? Things outside of ourselves tend to be very temporary in the motivation that they provide. For example, motivational quotes, right? They're real popular, especially on Facebook and Instagram. They make us... Twitter, maybe, yeah. They make us feel better for a little bit, or, maybe they kind of...
Oh, can I say it?
What?
We were talking about this in the car when we were going to Target to buy stuff. Lonnie's watching.
Hey, Lonnie, how's it going?
My mommy's friend is Lonnie.
Yes, welcome. Go ahead.
So we were talking,
Okay, you're like laying right on me again.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, there's not really space.
Okay, go ahead. What's your point?
We were going to Target, and he was telling me the topic about the Facebook Live.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And I said, well, can't they just go like to Target, or like a bookstore,
mm-hmm.
or like the library to like...
for like a book on motivation, you were saying?
No. Like a book, like quote book.
Oh, yeah, quote book.
And he was explaining, like, people who, like, read quotes, like, what happens is, like, they read one, and they're, like, they feel, like, good for just, like, a minute, and then they don't feel anything after that. Yeah, that's kind of it.
Hey, Lonnie, real quick, are we coming in good? Can you hear us? Can you see us?
Let us know.
Let us know. Just type in the comment section, like, if we're good or not.
Because last 2 times, the connection was bad.
Yeah, we had some trouble with the connection, so we just want to make sure that we're coming through, and that we can be heard and all that stuff, and everything's good.
So please let us know right now if we're coming
right
in.
Now.
Well, not right now, but like let us know like as soon ASAP.
Yeah.
Like.
All right, cool. Looks like we got it. Okay, so moving on.
Thumbs up. We got a thumbs up.
So moving on. So again, topic today, how to find your motivation, the motivation that you need without needing motivation. So, we got into the reasons why it doesn't work. It's short term, it's temporary. We keep having to, rely on people and circumstances and things that are outside of ourselves, and it leads to problems, because when motivation wears off, then what are you left with, right? So here's one of the things that I've seen in my experience, and this is like 16 years of working with clients who were dealing with their own struggles, and as well as my own struggles as well in achieving the goals that I had. And here's one of the things. A lot of the times, like we're chasing after goals that basically we don't really want. Mm-hmm. And when I say that, look at kind of the goals that are out there. I'll come from a guy's standpoint first, and then I'll go into like a man's standpoint. But then
do ladies first.
I'll do ladies too.
Come on, do it first. Do ladies first. Right, that's a rule.
Okay, ladies first. Fine. So let's look at when we talk about, let's say, like women who want to lose weight, okay? And so a lot of times, and I've had this where women come to me and they go, okay, I want to lose weight. I want to lose 30 pounds or I want to lose 15 pounds or whatever it is. And so we get into, why is this important? What are we after here? And what they're doing is they're thinking that losing the weight is going to make them feel a certain way. It's going to make them, happier. It's going to improve their confidence or whatever like that. Now, it's not to say that it can't do that. But a lot of times what happens is that they get started, they're all amped up, they're all motivated, and then within, a few weeks or a couple months or so, they start slipping into old habits.
I thought he was going to say, like, because sometimes when I'm, like, trying to organize my closet, I get all, like, oh, wait, I'm going to do this, it'll be easy, but then, like, after a few minutes,
you lose your motivation,
minutes,
right?
I'm just like, wait, never mind, whatever.
So what happens?
And I just, like, throw stuff back.
Yeah, and what happens, like, even with that, we're focusing on the end result, right? So we're focusing on losing the weight, like,
Too common.
Being a certain weight or a size or whatever it is, having a certain
It doesn't matter.
Right? Or getting a closet done, right? We're focused on the end result, but again, that's really not the thing that we're chasing, right? It seems like it is, but it's really not. And this is where, like, some conflicts happen. So if we really look at it, like, even, and this is just speaking, not to every single woman on the planet, but it's a common thing where when we look at the reason why do a lot of women want to lose weight and do this stuff? Well, there's, like, pressure, right? A lot of times there's pressure that women place on themselves they want to feel attractive, spouses and things like that, relationships, maybe they don't feel like they're as attractive as they were, or, the spouses aren't, reacting to them and being with them that they were, that they used to be. They're trying to rekindle things.
Kindle, like a Kindle fire?
Rekindle, like the refire, respark. A lot of times there's pressure from society. When we look at, like, these magazines, these fashion magazines, and even, like fitness to an extent, and we see the images of, what a lot of these women look like, what is viewed by society as being attractive, or what we're basically being told or led to believe that this is how we need to look in order to be accepted, in order to fit in, that this is what, men are attracted to, this is what is considered attractive, like all these different things, right? So when we get to the real issue, it's really not about, like, a weight issue as much as it's about, like, what we're really looking to achieve at a deep level. Sometimes it's a level of acceptance or, a feeling. A lot of times there's feelings attached to this. But what happens when we place, like, these goals? So if we just say, like, I want to lose weight, but then that end result or whatever, it's not the real outcome. We kind of think it is, but then it's not. It doesn't really connect. So there has to be an alignment. Whatever it is that you're looking to achieve has to be aligned with what's inside of you, with who you see yourself as, or who you want to see yourself as, the type of person that you aspire to be. It has to connect with you in here. And when we chase things because society labels it as, like, the thing to do, we're led to believe, like, this is what's acceptable. People are judging us. We don't fit in if we don't look a certain way. That creates, like, a disconnect. We might try to achieve that goal, but deep down it doesn't really connect with us.
It doesn't work.
Right, yeah, because it's like we're being pressured to do something that we'd really rather not be doing, right? So if that makes sense, let us know. Hopefully.
Oh, two comments.
What?
When we asked Lonnie if we got good connection, and she said yes, so that's good. And
Cool.
She also said, love you both, do these videos together.
Yep.
She likes us when we
Cool.
do videos
Awesome.
together.
Thank you,
Lonnie.
All right. So
Appreciate it.
but making sure that we're choosing goals that are in alignment with who we really are, not chasing things because we feel like. And how do we know we're chasing things that don't really resonate with us or not in alignment with us? It's like I was just going to say, a lot of times it'll be things attached to it, like I should do this, or I need to do this, I have to do this. Those, when you have those types of, you're making those kind of statements or you're thinking those kind of thoughts, that's a big clue that a lot of times the goal that you're chasing after is not really in alignment with you. So it's getting to the real, issue of what it is that you want and making sure that it connects with you. And not trying to feel like you're measuring up to other people. That's another thing. Like we're all the time comparing ourselves to others. Again, a lot of this is like placed upon us because of like society. We see it on TV, we read about it, we see it in magazines, we see it on billboards. There's all the images are all around us all the time, and it
all around us,
all around us,
like everywhere, like
yep,
360 degrees, like around you.
Yes. So now I've blabbed a lot. What do you have to say about that?
I didn't understand what you were saying.
Do you have anything to say? Any ideas come to your mind?
If I don't understand what people are saying, then I don't know what to say. Basically.
All right. So even with you,
Headache.
with the closet, let's take the closet example, so we could change it out of fitness. Because when I talk only about fitness,
and I'm here, it gets boring.
Well, not just that, but
for me, it gets boring.
But then it turns out into it turns into like a conversation. Then if other people start tuning in, they hear that, and then they start thinking it's a conversation about like, what's the best diet that I do, or what's the best exercise I need. It gets into this whole fitness and nutrition talk. So,
and it's like, but we hear that all the time, Kevin.
Well,
That's
it's
what people are
kind
saying.
of a different purpose though, right? Because no matter what goal we're after, right, it's really the underlying kind of, I want to say steps or principles to achieve it. That's what we're looking at. So even like with you in your closet,
it's messy. By the way, it's very messy.
Okay. Well,
He knows.
Anyway, okay, so let's move on. Anyway,
No.
You're laying on me again.
I do not want to.
Okay, so that's the first thing. Chasing things that we don't want, chasing goals we don't want. It's one of the reasons why we don't have motivation. When things are not in alignment with us, we lose motivation. It's not what we really want. So we need things that really connect with us, right? Then when something's within you and it connects with you, you really don't need motivation. You'll find it. You may have your days where, you're not very motivated, and that's life. That's just called life. But then for the most part, you'll be consistent when things are in alignment with you. So you won't have to be chasing motivation and looking for things to kind of fuel you and push you to move towards your goal. So the other thing now, the second thing is and this could be whether you have a goal that's not really aligned with who you are or who you want to be, or you might have one, but when you're going after that goal, I'll use another example here, and we'll just kind of stay on it. But what are you doing? You're all over the place here.
I'm laying down.
Anyway, so let's use another example here. Is that we can stay with the same example. Somebody who has a fitness goal, right? Want to lose weight, want to get stronger. Guys want to build muscle. Athletes want to perform better. Whatever. Let's say that you're looking to achieve that goal, and you find a program. So whether it's a workout program, it could be you hire a personal trainer, or you go to some fitness boot camp, or you try some kind of a diet. You're looking at the goal, right? So I want to lose, X amount of weight, or I want to, build muscle, or whatever it is. And so we jump on the program. We sign up for the trainer or the boot camp, or, we get the diet book, right? And after a while, we're kind of thinking, man, I'm really not like looking forward to this. Like every time I go to the fitness boot camp or the trainer, I'm sore for like a week after, and I hate it. I hurt all the time. My body's aching. There's like, I hate doing burpees. I hate doing these exercises. It's not stuff that I like. Or the diet, right? I feel like I'm depriving myself, or I can't enjoy the foods that I like. And I can't go to a restaurant with my friends anymore because I can't eat these kinds of foods. So what's happening is that the way that we're going about achieving the goal that we want isn't something that we choose to do. If we really like had a choice, we wouldn't be doing that. We don't want to do it. And that's part of the problem, is like doing things that we don't like. So whatever, the goal is, it's like looking at anything else. When I ask you over here, you who's laying down, when I ask you to do something and
I don't want to do it.
You don't, and it's not fun.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to keep doing it? If I ask you to do something that's not fun for you, do you want to keep doing it? Like doing chores. Do you want to keep doing them? Do you like doing chores?
No.
Why?
Well, takes up time that I should be watching TV.
Okay, so are chores fun?
No.
Right? They're not enjoyable for you. So if we're doing things that are not enjoyable, we're not going to stick with them very long. And that's what happens, because a lot of times, like, we feel like the things we have to do to achieve the goal, we feel like they need to be hard. And for some reason, we tend to label things. Like, anytime we have a goal that we want to achieve, we have this idea that it needs to be hard work. We need to push ourselves. We need to, suck it up, and things are a struggle and it's a battle and all this stuff. And I hate to say it, but if you have a goal right now that you're going after and things feel like it's a real struggle, if you hate what you're doing, if you're really like feeling like it's a big battle and it's something you'd rather not be doing, there's something wrong. You shouldn't be doing it, right? It should be something that is enjoyable for you. And that's the thing that a lot of times we don't think is possible, or we just don't think like it's supposed to be that way. If something seems enjoyable, we kind of label it like it's not going to work. Oh, if that diet's easy for me to do, or if I like that exercise program, oh man, it's not going to work, right? It's not effective. We keep thinking like we got to, beat ourselves down and really like force ourselves and use willpower and all this to achieve things. And it's not true, right? It's just not true. So, part of the thing here is, when you have something that's enjoyable, how much motivation do you really need? Right? I mean, the answer is like, you don't need to motivate yourself. You're naturally motivated when you like doing things. I know for me, you don't have to motivate me to eat Ben & Jerry's ice cream, do you?
Oh, I love Ben & Jerry's.
All right. Why do we not need motivation to you don't have to go,
because
okay, Dad,
because
I need you to focus.
No, wait.
I need you to want that ice cream. What?
No.
Okay. Whoa. All right. Thank you. That's Brianna knocking over the picture here.
Sorry.
Okay, can we be serious now? Go ahead.
It's dessert. It's delicious.
Okay, so I'm going to move on. Okay. But anyway, so, the things that are enjoyable are, things that we don't have to motivate ourselves to do. We're naturally motivated to do them. So that leads to the thing about, the process that you're going through to achieve the goal should not be a struggle for you. It shouldn't be something that you feel you have to force yourself to do. And if it does, it's time to change what you're doing. It's time to change your approach. Find something that is more enjoyable. And that's what gets into basically some simple strategies for doing it, right? We make it this big thing, like when we're not motivated and we feel like something's wrong with us. What's wrong with me if I don't feel motivated? Nothing's wrong with you. You've either chosen the wrong goal that's not aligned with you, like the person that you see yourself as or that you aspire to be, or that, it's not aligned with you. It's not connecting with you. So find a goal that connects with you. Find the real reason. A lot of times it's just like really kind of looking into it and saying, what is it that I really want from this? If it's a weight loss goal, we don't need to focus on the end result, right? Instead of thinking about, God, I really want to lose those 30 pounds, and all we think about is 30 pounds, and every week I jump on the scale, and if that scale hasn't moved, I feel like a failure. Forget thinking about that stuff. Look at creating something and focusing on creating the experience, living as maybe a person who has achieved the goal that you want and has sustained it for a long period of time, and kind of looking at them, how they live. And what you'll find is that they live in a way that allows them to have that result, meaning they're not focused on that end result. There's a process that they go through, a way of living, an experience that they live their lives through that allows it to happen. And it's a very different place to be. So, focus on finding something that you want, an experience that you want that will allow you to live as a person who achieves that result, right? If that makes sense, let me know. Drop a comment below. The second thing is, like I was talking about before, find a process that you enjoy. So if you don't like doing certain things, it doesn't mean that that's the only way to achieve your goal. There's a lot of different ways to achieve a goal. And you can look at it in terms of fitness goals, because if you go into any bookstore, you will see like books along books, shelves and shelves of all different kinds of diet and workout books. There's thousands of these things. If you look online, they're all over the place. And all that means is that there are a lot of different approaches to achieve the goal that you have. And it doesn't matter what area you're in. If this is a career goal, if it's a relationship goal, if it is a money goal, if it's a fitness goal, it doesn't matter. There are more than one ways to achieve the goal that you're after. So find a way, look into them, and find something that resonates with you and that you could see yourself doing, because you go, you know what? I actually would enjoy that. I did the same thing, with my workouts. Like, for the longest time, I couldn't be consistent. I just wasn't able to maintain any level of consistency until all of a sudden I changed it up, because the things I was doing, I was like killing myself in workouts, and I hated it. I hated having to have to amp myself up all the time and get myself so fired up to work out. It just wore me out. And, in my workouts, I was just killing myself. I was going so far beyond, like pushing myself so far beyond what I could do all the time, and having to summon like this superhuman motivation and strength all the time. And it was just something that I dreaded doing after a while, and I couldn't maintain it very long. Now, fast forward. Here I am 4 years into this, and I am so consistent with my workouts. But I didn't have to try to motivate myself to do this. It happened naturally. Why? Because I found a way to do what I like to do. I found a way to make the process enjoyable for me. And so that's all it's been. There's been no motivation needed, no willpower necessary. I haven't had to force myself to do things I don't like, because I like what I do. And you can do the same thing. So find something that you enjoy doing. That's part of the thing. And the last thing, what do I got? I put some notes down just so I don't forget to address anything that I want to address. Final thing is make it simple. Make it simple, because here's the thing. When we take something and we make it complex, we make it all confusing, or there's all these different steps involved, or it has to be done in this way, not that way, and it just becomes like this big burden. We get overwhelmed, okay? And when things get overwhelmed, they become like a source of stress. And we already deal with enough stress in our everyday lives that when we add stress on top of stress, from a brain standpoint, we shut down. We get overwhelmed, and we get to a point where it's like red alert, don't want to do this. We just kind of shut down, and then, we kind of react by like running away. We don't want to do it anymore. Okay? So make it simple. The simple things, tend to be, or not tend to be, but, when we have simple things that are enjoyable, when we get simple and we combine that with stuff that we enjoy, that's when we get the goals that we have. That's when we achieve them, right? Simple and enjoyable. Boom, done, right? So there you are, your 3 ways to find the motivation you need without needing more motivation. It is very simple. Find goals that are in alignment with who you really are, or who you want to be, or both. And secondly, make the process enjoyable. Find things you like. The process to achieving the goal, find an enjoyable way to do it. Make it something that you really, really enjoy doing. Otherwise, you're not going to stick with it very long. And third, and finally, make it simple. Just keep it very, very simple. Complexity, it doesn't need to be anything complex. It doesn't need to be rocket science. Simple is the easiest way to go about it.
Yep.
All right. Any final thoughts, my little one? No, I know this wasn't the funnest topic for you today.
And we only had one person watching.
That's okay, because you know what? If one person was the one that this message needed to get to today, that's the way it goes, right?
But she wasn't commenting anymore.
She did comment.
Only 2 times.
Well, 2's better than nothing. Anyway, that's
but
it.
it doesn't show the eyeball.
Okay, that's it. So we are going to sign off for now. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Share this video with anybody you feel who
with
needs
your family and
to
friends.
hear this. And until next time, we are signing off.
Bye.